Hi, I'm Judy De La Rosa, and I'm wanting to show you today how to use the EO app, the Essential Oil Soul Essence Technique. I know a lot of you are really anxious to get more instructions, so here we go. Now, we'll probably be doing more of these, and Corinne will do some also. We'll each explain it in a little bit different way. Corinne Dellis and I partnered up to create this app. And I have 22 years of experience with Young Living Essential Oils, and I had about 3 years of experience before that. And I also used to teach meditation years ago, and I am the mother of 3 children who are now raised and grown, and they grew up on essential oils. So I have had a life totally immersed in essential oils and personal development and spiritual growth. I also wrote a book called The Spiritual Uses of Oils, which you can get at judydelarosa.com if you're interested in that. Okay, so let's get started after my little introduction of who I am. And I'm going to put us on a PowerPoint because this is going to be a little bit easier for you to follow how this works, okay? So when you first, this is called, as we know, EO-Set. That's the app name. And the reason we had to do that is that the little icon in the Apple Store doesn't fit the words Essential Oil Soul Essence Technique. So that's where that came from. This app first started out as a technique that we were just doing to help our team break through their old beliefs, their emotional wounds, their hidden patterns that were blocking them from building their Young Living business. And then we realized that this technique could be used really for anything that you needed to break through, because we all have these subconscious hidden patterns that are part of the culture we grow up in, part of the family we grow up in, and we need to break through that stuff to really find true, long-lasting happiness and peace, success, living your highest potential, and really discovering your gifts. So that's what the Soul Essence technique is about. It's about tapping in to your soul essence through your body intelligence and starting to shift these patterns with essential oils. So the other thing that's really unique about this app is that we have a unique description for every Young Living essential oil based on more of the emotional or mental or spiritual aspects of these oils, the frequencies that they bring you to, and the patterns that they're shifting in that way. And these were created by myself. I wrote the descriptions, but other people, a team of people helped with their intuitive insights. Cindy Davidson, who's also my virtual assistant in Mexico and the US, and Nicole Parrington, who's a clairvoyant, very clear clairvoyant from the Netherlands, and Corinne Dellis, who's a diamond in the Netherlands, just as I'm a diamond in the United States with Young Living essential oils. So if you go to the App Store, you're going to search EO-Set to get the app, okay? And right now it's only in the Apple Store, but we're very close to getting it released in the Android version as well. And you will find that this will come up on the screen, the center thing here that shows the price and some of the screenshots. You're going to click on that. That's going to take you to this next screen, whoops, on the right here. And this is where you're going to click $14.99 to purchase the app. You can also click this little button right here, this blue button, and you can share it with someone else or gift it to someone else. If you want to share the link to buy the app, or you want to gift it. If you want to gift it, you have to have the person's iTunes email address and whatever country you're in. If you're in the US, you can only gift it to someone else in the US. If you're in Mexico, you can only gift it to someone else in Mexico. Or if you're in Europe, same thing. You can only gift it to someone in the same region with iTunes that you're in. So I think in Europe, you can maybe gift it to anybody in EU, or it may have to be your own country. Not sure on that one. Corinne probably knows the answer to that. Okay, so once you get the app and it's downloaded, you can see over here I've circled what it looks like as an icon with the little EO-Set underneath it, okay? Now, once you open the app, it will load in, and you want to write in your name right here, and probably just your first name, because that's going to use to be populating when certain questions are asked. It automatically populates your name or the name of someone who you're doing the session for. So that's where you're going to put that, and then you're going to choose your region, your country, and your language. So right now we have European Union, United States, Colombia, Mexico, and actually also Brazil. And we will soon, very soon, be getting all the other English speaking regions in the app. That means South Africa, Canada, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, all these countries that commonly use English as their business language, and they use this for Young Living. We'll be using those. And what we do is we put only the products that are available in that region in that button. So when you're clicking the United States, you're getting everything that's available in the US. When you're clicking the European Union, you're getting only the products that are in the European Union, okay? And then you're also going to pick the language. Right now we have 2 languages, English and Spanish. Corinne Dellis, because she's from the Netherlands, she's currently in the process of translating everything into Dutch. And we do have plans to put it in other languages as well. If you have a big team in a country and you want to help us with the translation, we're very open to that, because it's quite expensive to put everything in another language. And so far we have just used personal translation ourselves, and it's worked really well. But we are very interested in putting it in as many languages as possible. And the ones we have coming up after Dutch would be German and Portuguese, maybe French, Russian, some of those, but we will need support for that, okay? Now, and by the way, if you later want to change the country or the language, you see up here, there's these 3 lines at the top right. You can click on that from any screen, and you come back to where it says settings in there, and then you can change the country and or the language, okay? Next thing is you're going to start a session. So you can either do a session on yourself or for someone else. I find that it's way more powerful if you have someone else do the session for you, because it allows you to stay out of your thinking mind and really be tapped in to your body and your inner knowledge. That's what's helping you tap into your soul essence. So that's why I love it if you have somebody doing the session for you, even if you know how to do the session for yourself. Sometimes though, I do it on myself, or as you see here, I have written in my Young Living Abundance team. You can customize when you say someone else what you want to put there. You could pick a specific leg of your team even to put there to see what do you need to clear within yourself and the frequency of your team to actually start to move forward with maybe growing the leg to a certain rank, or achieving more volume, or clearing the relationship issues between people in a team. Whatever it is, you can put that in there, and then you'll see what comes up to help clear that. So if you're new to this, you can read through why use the Soul Essence technique. And I think we've also put this in here because when you're doing a session on a new person, you can read this to them first, so they kind of get acclimated to what it is you're about to do with them, okay? Then the next thing you're going to do is choose your desired result. And that could be connect to your why in your Young Living business. It could be succeeding in your business. You can actually customize more specific things in your business. I want to achieve the rank of silver. I want to clear the blocks that are keeping me, or you want to say it in a positive way. You never want to have a negative thing. So what I was about to say is clearing the blocks. Probably better to say achieve silver rank. So that would be your positive outcome. You could put that, or you could say achieve a certain paycheck in Young Living. That could be something else. So, and I would be very specific about that, how much you want to earn or more. Always make sure if you do that, say or more, because that way it opens the way for abundance, okay? You can also do it on a personal level for like love yourself more, like have a better personal identity. That would be deepening your relationship with your inner self, or maybe connecting to your soul essence or your life purpose. You can customize this, or you can say improve how I relate to, and then it could be a specific person you could put there also. And once you click on one of these, you can only choose one, then this button will turn a color, and then you can go on and click it to go to the next screen. The next screen is about clearing resistance. Now, if you're not sensitive, maybe you don't feel you need to do this, but I'm pretty sensitive and I tend to pick up other people's energy pretty easily. So I found that when I'm going to do a session, I like to do this step, which I'm going to put me back on screen share here so you can see me, because I want to demonstrate this. So I take frankincense to do this, and the instructions are there step by step, but you could also use Valor or Palo Santo for this if you don't have frankincense. Put a couple drops in your hand and also in the hand of the person you're doing the session on, and then activate it with 3 clockwise circles, and then put some right at the base of your spine here. And we're doing it on all the chakras. Then we're doing it on the second chakra, right here, 2 inches below the navel, right on the solar plexus, right here, kind of over the stomach area, on the heart. And if you start to run out, you could put another drop there and activate it. Okay, then on the throat, the forehead, that's the 6th chakra, and the 7th chakra. Then rub your hands together, and you want to clear your energy field. And you're doing this along with the person you're doing the session for. This is aligning you to be more clear, in both your energy fields. So you're clearing out all the surface things that aren't really yours. Maybe you picked up before you came in. And you're really kind of preparing the field so you can have a more effective session. And also, this is a protective shield for both of you, so you don't take on other people's energy. And the last thing you're going to do is breathe this in 6 times. So I'm kind of off the screen here. So just close your eyes and breathe it in slowly and just have your awareness within. So you do that 6 times, and then you go to the next step. So if you're doing this on someone else, let me do like this. If you're doing this on someone else, then it's a little easier because you can demonstrate it where you're giving somebody the direction. And this is the next screen. Let me just show you really quickly here. The next screen looks like this, establishing a yes/no. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to ask the person to stand in front of you because it's easier to see a yes/no if the person is sideways. And then you're going to ask, so that means they're standing like this. So now you can see me. If I say, show me a yes, usually people will fall forward if there's a yes, and if I say, show me a no. And this is being tuned into your body and letting go of your mind. You're into a feeling or sensing level when you're doing this. And this is part of the technique. You know, some people say, well, can't I muscle test with somebody testing my arm? Or can't I use my fingers or something? The reason we really strongly encourage you to use the body, sort of like a pendulum, is because part of the technique is your soul, your inner essence speaks to you through a much deeper level than your thinking mind. The thinking mind often blocks that. So if we want to get to the subconscious patterns in us, and we want to go even break through those to get to our soul essence of who we were at the moment of birth or before we were born, that requires us to go beyond the thinking mind and connect deeper. And that's why we encourage you to use this body technique of asking for the yes/no response. Now, sometimes people will get the opposite. They'll get a yes is backward and a no is forward. We say that's okay. Sometimes people say, no, you shouldn't let them do that. It means their polarity messed up. So if you want to make sure, you can do a couple things. You can just go like this with your hands straight up, like that, up their energy field, and it often will shift their polarity and fix that, okay? So then you'll go forward or backward. There are some other things that can happen where sometimes when somebody's energy is a little bit wacky, they might go sideways or even side to side for the yes/no. And sometimes they actually just can't get a yes/no response, or it's very tiny. One of the things you can do if they're having trouble is have them drink a glass of water, because this is based on electrical flow in the body. So drinking a glass of water can help that. And like I said, you might also have them hold a bottle of Valor, or maybe even the frankincense, whatever you're using, here, and then ask for the yes, no response. Another thing you can do is have them put their hands on their kidneys. The kidneys hold fear, and then do it. Okay? So sometimes you have to ask, do I have permission to do this soul essence technique today with you? Because sometimes people just, the fear or whatever's there is so strong that they're going to be fighting it. Now, if that happens, you have a couple options. You can, if they're brand new to essential oils, go to the resources section. And if you follow the yes, no, and you keep getting a no, it's going to tell you to do this in the app. Go to the resources section, and there are instructions for how to use the intro kit in the United States for doing a little emotional tune-up that they can do every day for 30 days, and then have them test again to see if they're ready, if their emotional body is clear enough that they can start to do this technique and feel their own yes, no. The other thing you can do is have them do the feelings kit for 30 days, and that also will help them clear out some of the surface stuff that needs to be shifted so that they can do the technique and go beyond their fear level of doing that. So those are some of the things that will come up, and we'll be talking about other things like how to use a surrogate. Sometimes that can be done also. So we're not going to go into all that right now. I just kind of want to give you the overview of what to do. And then in the coming weeks, we'll be reviewing other more specific issues. Also in the frequently asked questions section of the, of the main menu in that upper right corner, there is a very long list of questions and answers that you can go through and read that for more detailed information as well. Okay, so now after you know how to do you've got the person doing the yes, no, and you're clear about what their yes, no is. I will say once in a while it shifts throughout the session. So sometimes I'll check throughout the session to make sure I've still got the right direction, forward or backward, for yes and no, especially if they seem to be resistant or there's some confusion about what their yes and no is, or it doesn't seem very strong, things like that. Okay, so then comes up a screen that kind of explains more about what is your body intelligence, and it's explaining that it's going to show you which Young Living products can begin to shift these limiting patterns, your emotional baggage that are keeping you from living your full potential. Okay, sometimes when we want to achieve something, it's just like we're trying to do the right thing, but it just doesn't seem to be working right. And that's because your subconscious is working against your active thinking mind and what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, then the next screen that comes up is how many Young Living products do I need to use to change my beliefs and emotions so I can succeed in my business? That's the one I picked for this. It could say, so I can have a better relationship with my wife, with my kids. It could be anything, right? Or so I can connect more deeply to my own soul essence and my life's purpose. So you're going to ask, is it one product, and wait for a yes or no. If it's no, then you're click no, and it'll go up to 2. Is it 2? And then if that's a no, you'll click again on the no, and it'll go to 3, and then 4. So here in this example, we used 4. So then I click yes, and then we go on. So it's going to ask, after we know how many products, the first product up here, you see here it's circled in red. The first product of the 4 products, will an essential oil help align your beliefs and patterns to your desired outcome or goal to succeed in your business? And if you get a yes for this, then you click on yes, and then you go on to the next screen, and it's going to help you figure out what exactly is that essential oil. So to make it faster, we first ask, is it an oil that begins with A through H, or I through P, or Q through Z? As soon as you get a yes, you just stop. If it comes up A through H is yes, then you just go ahead and click on that. And then this little screen down here will come up that will allow you to scroll through the alphabet letters. So then you're going to ask, is it A? Is it B? Is it C? In this case, it was G, okay, came up as the right one. So then when you click next, then it comes up to find out. Actually, this one is a mistake in here. I forgot to take out one from the Spanish one. So I just did this class in Spanish. So let's just look over here on the right, and you start asking, is it gathering? Is it genius? Is it gentle baby? Is it geranium? And I got a yes for geranium. So then I click on that, then it highlights the next button, and I go on. So then the next one that comes up, I can ask, is it an essential oil? If I get no, is it a nutritional supplement that will help me? No. Is it a personal care product? If you get a no for that, then it will come up, will increasing the frequency of your environment or lifestyle help clear the beliefs and emotional patterns affecting your desired outcome or goal? So in this case, these are some things that are not all Young Living products, because we've discovered that sometimes in order to move forward, you need something else. So we came up with tea, and this was our first thing that we had in this category was, is it Thieves Household Cleaner? Do you need to have a chemical-free environment to raise your frequency? Is that actually limiting your lifestyle, is limiting your goals and moods and energy? So if you get that, you click on tea, and we're using that as an example. But notice the other one under tea is take long walks. Or it could come up in this category, it might come up spend time in nature, spend time around positive people, connect with animals, connect with other people. And with that one, sometimes that has to do connecting with other people with, is it a family member? Is it someone you know or you don't know? Is it someone that in your family that's already passed away, that you have unfinished business with, that you need to clear that inside of yourself? So any of these things could come up for this. And you see, it's very powerful at shifting you and helping you move on. Okay. So in this case, we're going to pick Thieves Household Cleaner for this one. And so you see here, then it will come up once we've gone through the next two products, and we've done all of them. It'll show you a list of what came up for you in your session. And it could be in any one of these 4 categories. So when you ask first, is it an essential oil? And it says no, don't be worried, because it could be an oil-infused nutritional product. If it's no for that, it could be an oil-infused personal care product. If it's no for that, it could be increase the frequency of your environment or lifestyle. So, and in this last one, we actually have a create your own custom button. Sometimes you will find that when you're doing the session, a lot of these things don't come up, and something will just pop in your head if you're open and you're not trying to force it. And you have to trust those things that pop in your head. Sometimes it'll say, do a counseling. You know, I know somebody who is having some issues in their family, and it said do a counseling session, or it could be anything. So you use your own intuition about that. And if you're not getting anything, ask the person you're doing the session on if something's coming up in their mind, because as you begin to clear these things and tap into your own body intelligence and your soul essence, you're tapping into your inner wisdom. And that truth will come forth, and you want to honor that, whatever's popping into your head or the head of the person you're doing the session on. Then if you came up with an essential oil, it'll come up with a little screen that's going to describe something you can read to the person you're doing the session on about all the oil descriptions, okay? And then read the description of the oil that came up. In this case, it was geranium, so here's an example of what the descriptions are like. Geranium oil is beneficial when you experience exhaustion due to stress and overwork. It relaxes your nerves and calms even chronic anxiety to make you stronger and more secure. Geranium oil is ideal if you are a workaholic perfectionist that has forgotten your imagination, your intuition, and your sensual nature. Use geranium oil when you are living too much in your rational mind and your drive to be successful makes you deny your feelings, your creativity, and your sensuality. And then it goes on a little bit more. Some of them are longer and some of them are shorter. So after that, then you're going to find out how should you use geranium oil. And we have several options. If it's a vitality oil and a regular topical oil, then it will also have a button here for internal use. Ingestion, it'll say. But if it's not a vitality oil, that button is not going to be there. And if you're in a country where there are no vitality oils or plus oils in foreign countries, it won't show up either. Okay? So in this case, if we test, maybe you get chakras, and then you're going to choose, you can have more than one chakra that might come up. You can click more than one button in these options. Okay? If you click on topical, you're going to have a lot of options that come up. And I usually start with, should you put it on the bottom of the feet, depending on what the oil is, I might say, should you put it on the head or the abdomen? And sometimes I will start out by saying, should you put it on the top part of the body, like from the chest up? Or should you put it from the waist down? That way it kind of saves time so you don't have to go through all of these. And once I get one answer, I will say, is there any other place I need to use this oil? If you get a no, you can stop. You don't have to ask for all of those issues, all of those places. And we do need to change this because it should say, where should I apply this oil? You don't need to do self-massage when you're applying an oil topically, okay? And you might want to ask, especially with people that have more delicate skin or children, should you dilute this oil? That's an important thing to ask, and we've been talking about adding that in here as a question, okay? So then, once you figured out how to use the oil, then you're going to find out what time of the day should you use the oil that way, on waking, during meditation or prayer time, with breakfast. Anyway, all of these options, or sometimes it's as often as needed. So again, you notice you could click too, like during meditation, if you get that, say, is there any other time of the day I need to use this product? And if it comes up yes, then you can start. Sometimes I'll just go right to the first thing I'll ask is bedtime, because the most common times are going to be morning and evening. And then if it comes up that you need more than one, I'm going to go through those. Or sometimes I'll just say, is it as often as needed? Click on whichever ones and then click on next. After you figure, I'm sorry, this keeps flipping around. It's kind of delicate. So then with every product that comes up, it will ask you, is there another way you should use this product? Sometimes you need to use an essential oil topically, and you need to inhale it or diffuse it or ingest it or put it in a spray bottle and use it in a spray bottle, you know, like this, okay? So you can just ask that, is there another way you need to use this product? Sometimes it'll come up 3 times, different ways to use the product, okay? Now, the next question will be, how long should I, after you've gone through that process I went through, with every single product of the 4 products that have come up, you're going to ask that series of questions, and then you're going to come up with one blanket question for the entire number of products you're using. How long should I use these products in this way to achieve my desired outcome? And it could be 1 month, 6 weeks, less than a week. It also has a custom button there. If you're not getting the answer you need, you can customize it, okay? And then the next question that will come up is, do I need to test? Do I need to do another soul essence session to complete this goal or outcome that you chose specifically for this session? Now, this is not to be confused with, if you get a no, that doesn't mean you should never do another soul essence session. It means for this specific question that you asked in this session, like to succeed in my business, or to have a better relationship with a specific person, or whatever it is, for that specific outcome, do you need another session or not? Because in this, what we're doing is we're kind of peeling back the onion, right? So that means that we make the first things that come up, product 1, 2, 3, whatever, those are going to deeper and deeper levels of what needs to be cleared. And usually the very last thing that comes up for the product will be the deepest core issue. If you get that you need another session, it means that you haven't actually got to the core issue yet. There's work you need to do to clear something more on the surface first before you get to the core issue. It's really important that you use all the products in your session that come up, because the top ones are clearing the surface level. And if you only clear that and you kind of open up the doorway to some of these deeper things that are going on, it may be uncomfortable. If you do all of the products at once, it's usually pretty easy and easeful, and you're able to work through things pretty easily. So I do encourage you to use all the products. And then the great thing is that you can send a report to whoever it's for, yourself or someone else, in order to show them what they got in their session, because they're not going to be able to remember all this. So it's going to show them the product. It's going to show how they need to use the product and the description that came up for that product. Reading that description is also a very important part of this technique because it's allowing the brain, the mind, the analytical mind to have something to focus on, to shift the pattern, to understand, to have more understanding of what it is that needs to be shifted, what's blocking you. And then the oils that you're using are actually shifting your frequency so that doing this in a repeated thing every day is going to help you actually reprogram your neural pathways in your brain, in your thinking and emotional circuitry, and in your physiology so that you're creating a new pattern. And the more you think about the pattern you want, not where you're coming from. Too many of us live in the past and we base everything on, oh, if I could just fix that problem. But the more you think about it, the more you're actually anchoring that into you. So what you want to be doing is be thinking about your future and what you're creating, what your desired outcome is. That should be your focus in this session. If something else pops into your awareness, it's okay. It means it's rising up to be released. But don't give any attention to the mental aspect of trying to process it or even the emotional. As soon as you become aware that you're in that process of release, you want to then put your awareness just on breathing in the oil or smelling and feeling the body and just letting your awareness be on that. That is an important part of the process, okay? So you can then send this report when you click on send through a text message, through WhatsApp, through iMessenger, through an email. There's many ways you can send this report to someone. And it's not stored in your app, so there's no worry about privacy policies or anything like that. It's gone. Once you send it, it's gone. So you do want to make sure that you've got the right address. Once in a while, I'll ask the person permission, can I also send it to myself? If I think that they might not get it or there's something about them having a question about it later, if they give you permission to do that, I don't know actually about privacy policies. You may have to have that in writing, so I shouldn't be saying that. But anyway, you can work that out. But the best thing is to send it directly to them and send it to them in two ways if you're not sure they're going to get it in one of the ways. That's the safest thing to do. And then you're totally compliant with privacy policies, okay? And when you send it as an email, you can actually write more detailed information in there. If you've got something that needs to be added in that isn't in this generic report, you can add that in when you send it as an email. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. That's the basics of using this app, and you will see when you go through this. It is amazing, and we're going to be collecting some testimonials. We haven't had a moment to do that. I know Corinne Dillis has collected a lot of testimonials in Europe, and I'm going to be asking her to post a lot of those maybe in our group so you guys can see those. But people have amazing results with this. So anybody in your team that wants it, $14.99 one-time purchase, and it's also a really great thing to gift to your leaders because you can actually use this to increase Essential Rewards orders. You can utilize it that way. You could also utilize it to help your leaders break through their blocks and build their teams. So you could, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you click in the upper right of the Apple Store, right next to the button where you buy it or download it, you can actually purchase it as a gift for someone. And it's a great gift. It's Christmas coming up. It's a good thing to gift your team for Christmas. And we will have the Android version available in December. We're almost finished working on that. And I know some of you are waiting for that, but in the meantime, you can keep learning how the app works. So if you have any questions about this class, please post them in the comments and we will be answering those questions. And if you have something specific you want us to teach another class about, please let us know so that we can do that. We're here to help you learn how to use this amazing technique. And for those new people, it's a really low buy-in to have a method to use. And some people even charge something to do this session once they really know what they're doing and other people want to have the session. You can charge, it's up to you what you charge for it, but that's also an option for you. So some people enjoy that if they tend to be a therapist anyway. Okay, so have a great day, and I will look for your questions. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.